Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Geoguessr tips and tricks, and today's over Argentina. So, let's just get into the tips. So, Argentina, Southern Hemisphere, that's something obviously, there's a lot of cloudy coverage as well. We have the yellow lines like you see in the Western Hemisphere most of the time. So, the first thing with Argentina is that it's a massive country. You have most of the country is flat apart from the west. As you can tell, the Andes mountain range goes down the left side of it, and there's some occasional mountain bits in the south. The western and southern part are more deserty, and the eastern is more tropical and more luscious, more green. So, the road lines in South America, or I guess you could say just the Americas in general, you see yellow road lines, right? Apart from Chile. But if you see both yellow and here we have white lines next to the yellow lines, if you see both white and yellow, you're gonna be in Argentina or Uruguay. It already narrows it down a lot. And then you could tell by like these poles with the hooks you see in Argentina, but not Uruguay. And Uruguay would probably have a more obvious white car like you see in Chile. So we're going to be in Argentina. And since it's green, we're going to be on the eastern side. This counts as the eastern side. It's in the green. And then here we have mountains, obviously. If you see mountains like this, you're going to be on the west. And something very good about Argentina is that all the border places have a lot of things in common with the respective countries, like the Chilean border. If you know Chile, if you're in this northwestern part of Argentina, those mountains, they resemble the Chilean ones a bit more. If you're here, it resembles this area. If you're down here, it resembles this area. If you're all the way down here in Tierra del Fuego, it resembles this area. So Chile is very useful. Uruguay, Eastern Argentina and Uruguay are pretty much the same place. Misiones province in Brazil are pretty much the same. We don't have Paraguay coverage, and Bolivia, the Jujuy province, takes a lot from Bolivia. So here, we have a lot of mountains that are more arid than not, but it's not like a full-on desert, so we're not going to be too far north, so we're going to be in this area in between this province and Catamarca, probably. Something else about figuring out Argentina from Uruguay are these chevrons, because in the Western Hemisphere you usually have yellow and black chevrons, or sometimes some other ones, but in Argentina you have more European style ones with red and white. So like this is a normal, well, besides this is like the standard Argentinian pole pretty much, but like if you had something like this and you don't know the poles, you'd be like, okay, it could be like Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, and you see this, you know it's Arch. So it's also very, very flat. Not very tropical. We're probably going to be like Cordoba area, Buenos Aires province, somewhere around here. Yeah. Okay. And this little marker next to the road, I find this very very useful, because this with the RN black on the top is exclusive to Argentina. So if you move around that you think, okay, is it Argentina? Is it Uruguay? Is it Argentina or is it Brazil? Is it Argentina or is it Peru, which is my usual 50-50. If you see this, you know you're in Arch. And overall, this round is not the easiest at all. But this southern part of Argentina, pretty much this in south, is much different than the rest. The Rio Negro and Chubut provinces are more arid, but you have a lot more like you still have some like small bushes and vegetation, a lot more than what we see here. But the Santa Cruz and the Tierra del Fuego provinces, they're more flat, less deserty. They're still arid, more cold, but you see way less vegetation, like here. So we are probably going to be in the Santa Cruz province, if I had to guess. And we were. Okay, and here's just around to prove the thing with like if you're in a bordering place, it's gonna look exactly like the country. So if you didn't know anything about like northwestern Argentina, these red brick houses would make you think Peru, Bolivia. And you have these very arid mountains, very deserty. Because this is the very northwestern part of Argentina. Mainly this city, right? One of these cities. I think it's this one. Because it's just like Bolivia. Like, exactly like Bolivia. You have so much in common with Bolivia. And it's not anything specific. The red brick is what this round is mainly for. But this is just more, because like, I'll get to the area near Paraguay, area near Brazil, and near Chile and other ones. Uruguay is pretty much just eastern Argentina, but cloudy. That's it. So if you know Uruguay, you know eastern Arch. So yeah. Speaking of so, when you see the red soil, red road like this, you think of Brazil, obviously. Like if you saw this, it'd be like, okay, this is Brazil, most likely. But we know it's not Brazil. That's because we are in this province of Misiones, and usually in this province, you will have double yellow lines, and it'd be much more red, to be much harder to tell. But yeah. That's something very exclusive to this province, because it looks just like Brazil. Okay. And then here. This kind of is with the other thing that I've been saying about how each area of Argentina looks like a different country. This one, not as much. So, it's very cold. We can tell that. We can easily tell that it's very cold. And this doesn't... I mean... the Tierra del Fuego province at the very bottom. I found this to be a resemblance to New Zealand in a way. Very cold, but it's not. It doesn't feel like South America. It is very similar to the southern part of Chile, but this part of Argentina can sometimes be confused for like these roads in western. This looks like Chile or New Zealand. You even have like the fence that follows and such. But yeah. But this isn't Chile, because around like this in Chile, this Gen 3 cloudy, you would not have a black car. That's guaranteed. So if you see this, something like this, you're gonna be in Tierra del Fuego 99% of the time. Okay, here's another more bordering country. So the side of these roads, it's somewhat. This isn't a very good example, but it's somewhat sandy, with a lot of vegetation. Yeah, you could somewhat tell on this road specifically, but it's not too red. It's pretty luscious. There's a lot of vegetation and the somewhat sandy out roads. This is gonna be the Chaco for most of the provinces near Paraguay. This is what Paraguay looks like for the most part. So yeah, and then the single most famous part of figuring out Argentina is the old license plates, which you see just a black dot in the middle. I could not talk about this in an Argentina video. When you see this black dot in the license plate, you're in Argentina guaranteed. The plate is actually a white text on a black background, but this is the old license plate. The newer license plate for Argentina looks like the Uruguayan and Brazilian one, so it's less obvious, but you still do have some Gen 3. Something I don't have in this video is these signposts in the middle of just like an intersection. It looks like just like this. I don't know how to describe it, but this exact style you see all across Uruguay, Argentina, and Chile. That's something else. Don't really know how to describe it. Oh, it says San Luis Ebro, so might as well go in San Luis. And then the second biggest thing for Argentina that people know is the black car. The black car like this, the Gen 3 black car in South America is exclusive to Peru, Argentina, and Uruguay. Usually, Peru you could easily tell, but the other two not so much, because they are very similar in so many ways. But they both have this black car in the Gen 3 and look very similar. But if you see the sky all filled with clouds, that's more of a Uruguayan thing. If not, more of an Argentinian thing. That's just kind of that. And this Buenos Aires province is full of this coverage. Okay, like I said earlier with the Santa Cruz province, the southern provinces, aka Rio Negro and Chubut, are the Santa Cruz province, but more arid, less cold, but you see more vegetation. Like we have bigger bushes and such. And usually the Chubut province is more of this way because the Rio Negro is gonna be more flat and more like the other ones. But yeah, that's just something with these provinces. Alright, that'll be it for this tips and tricks video. Not much to say. Argentina is a very hard country, especially for me. But hopefully this video helped y'all get better at it. See y'all next time.